back, and this is Live at the Center for Performing Arts at Rhinebeck. Wonderful, wonderful Rhinebeck, home of the old Rhinebeck Aerodrome and Ferncliff Forest and the Sally Mazzarella Thomas Thompson Park and the Star Library and the Winnicke Land Trust and the Rhinebeck Historical Society. What other great places have we left out?
The Center for Performing Arts.
The Center for Performing Arts, but that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen.
Terrapin.
Well, I wasn't going to.
Lickety
I did
Bistro.
restaurants the last time, places to
The
eat.
local.
So I was talking about the place you go, your wonderful day trips. You know, if you live down there in New York City and you say, gee, Marge, what should we do with the kids today? Well, drive up to Rhinebeck. You'll have a wonderful time. Lots of free places and very inexpensive places to go. The town is just filled with historical stuff. The aerodromes are great. We just partnered up with them, right? We're doing something which I think is really cool. All right, so this is our August show, August at the Center for Performing Arts, and opening on July 29th, so it sort of counts. Daniel, you'll run this a couple of days early, like around July 27. Opening on July 29 is the Up in One production of the Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber wonderful, wonderful dark musical, Sunset Boulevard. And with us, sitting at the far end of the, it's not a couch, but it's supposed to be a couch, is Diana DeGrande, who's the head of Up in One, and she's producing this show. And sitting in the middle is Prince Kevin Archambault. Prince Kevin is the director and choreographer of Sunset Boulevard. And sitting to my immediate right is Barbara Rankin, who is playing Norma Desmond. And those of you who know the Billy Wilder movie, you will know what an iconic, huge. Are you on stage all the time?
Not really, but
a lot of the time.
A lot.
95% of the time.
I would say 99% of the time.
Yes.
It's a huge role.
Kind of like Anna and the King and I.
Well, you did that role, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. And
Here
you,
on this very stage.
On this stage.
2001.
You also did
I
Eliza
produced-
Doolittle,
Diana
Once Upon a
produced it.
Time. Eliza Doolittle. You were
Eliza Doolittle.
And what other big shows have you done? Because you've been a fixture here since...
1995, although the building was not here.
The
in
building was
95,
not here, but you
was a
started
tent.
work in 1995
A
when
little-
we were in the tent.
A little night
On an
music.
empty film.
That was your first show?
That was my first, 1995.
And then the next year we did Follies, right?
97 we did Follies.
97.
Then we went on to do that again here, and
Yeah.
we did 2 more productions of A Little Night Music, which I was
Correct.
also in.
That's sort of like the fallback play. What should we do?
Every other year.
Let's do A Little Night Music. Why not?
It's a
So,
great piece.
any challenges? Is this like wearing you out?
Yes, physically, I was saying I take Pilates 3 days a week,
Just to do this role?
just to do it. No, but I heard a story via a friend in New York who teaches at AMDA, and she said that the woman who replaced Patti LuPone had to hire a trainer just to go up and down the stairs to play this role. Now, we don't have our stairs yet.
We
do.
It's
We
being
do.
built.
I
It's
shouldn't
in the
say
shop.
that.
Have you been
Yeah.
back there? He's
Yes,
got it all
I
laid out. It's
have.
huge.
I'm
It's
so-
a huge
I
staircase.
can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be
So,
fabulous.
but even so, just being in high heels or heels all the time, running up and down stairs.
Right.
We do a tango, if anybody's seen Dancing with the Stars, or so you think you want to dance.
How is this vocally for you, though? I mean, you're an accomplished singer, but this is pretty
Thank you.
tortuous.
You know what? It lays in the middle of my voice. I always was kind of more of a soprano, although I've sung jazz and
Right.
American popular songs, so those tend to lie in the middle voice. It's challenging. It's just to be on stage.
Elaine Miller is sitting out there. She's our musical director.
Yes.
And we were working on this yesterday. This show airs in August, so when I say yesterday, that means 6 weeks ago. Never mind. This is almost an opera.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very challenging from
Yeah.
that point of view.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And it's
It is.
true to the film, Diana?
The story is, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
like almost word for word.
yes.
Very
There's
close.
very little that's left out.
Yeah, very close.
Very
And I
little.
think the music really captures
Enhances it.
The silent era,
feeling,
yeah.
the silent era, and
Right.
the feeling of the characters,
Right.
and the feeling of, I don't want to say dread, but
Well, it's that
It-
film
it's
noir.
that film noir.
Yeah,
Well,
that-
it's
Black-
noir, it's
black and
gothic,
white,
it's
gothic.
it's
Yeah.
it's one of the great black and whites. Billy Wilder. For those of you who don't know the story, does anybody not know this story?
well, some people actually, maybe our younger audiences.
All right, so the conceit is very simple. The film takes place in 1950,
Yes.
right? and we stumble upon a silent movie star by the name of Norma Desmond, who exited the business when the talkies came in. But in 1950, she has a script that she wants Cecil B. DeMille to do. And she finds herself a young writer by the name of Joe Gillis.
Well, he sort of finds
He
her
finds her.
accidentally.
By accident.
It's an accident.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it right there.
That's
That's
there you
really
go.
all you need to know.
Romance and tragedy
Tragedy.
ensue.
Well, there's a lot
Some.
of tragedy.
Lots of romance.
So Diana, why did you pick this? I mean, I know that we were going to do something else instead, weren't we?
We were, but we
couldn't get the
picked
rights
this.
for it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the center decided to do Americana this year.
Right,
being an election
Americana,
year.
that's what we're concentrating on, the
And
experience.
this certainly is Hollywood Americana, if you
Absolutely.
will. And it's a classic. It's a classic, and the music is so beautiful.
Oh, the music is fabulous.
And it hasn't been done in this area before. We're the first to do it.
No.
So all those reasons,
Yeah.
you know, and something Kevin, I think, wanted to do.
Did you want to do it?
I did.
We had talked about it a couple of years back, hadn't we?
Yeah, it's always been in my head. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
I
we
think
wanted
this.
to do
I
it.
think the space really works for it here at the center because we're
Yeah.
so intimate here.
Yeah.
And I just think that I loved the movie growing up, which is a little
That's a
says,
little weird.
says something about my parenting maybe. But I just think it's a really wonderful story, an engaging story, and again, the music is just so beautiful. It's one of my favorite Webers. You know, he can be very. I'm not a big fan of cats. I'm sorry if you are.
Singing cats. It's about cats. Singing cats. You'll
Exactly.
love it.
But this I really think showcases Weber and his strengths. You know.
Yeah, well, he's really good at doing the
Melodies
dark,
that you
the dark side of things. He's got a really good take on that.
And exactly
And
what you were saying, melodies that you leave
remember.
humming.
You leave.
But there were only like 5 in this play.
Absolutely, and they repeat
5 signature melodies that every
complex time signatures.
very
Yes.
complex and a lot of variations on the theme, and everybody gets to use them. Like you have a song that I pick up
You pick up
in the second
Yeah.
act, which is slightly off the tempo and a lot different
Yes.
than the way you do it.
That's right.
But it's one melody, and it's supposed to evoke the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. So, and another cool thing about this, you've been working with the ensemble, but we were talking the other day. There's not a lot of dance in the show.
There's not. It's not. It's not
Not
a.
good
I
dance.
mean, I just came off of West Side a couple of months ago,
Right.
and that was like so based
All
on
dance,
the choreography,
yeah.
you know. And this has been so much more fun so much more fun, but just a different take for me, and to be able to like really work with characterization and really get the time to just work with 3 or 4 people individually and talk about, well, why are we saying this? Why are we crossing this way? What does this mean for us? You know.
But you've done big acting musical
Absolutely,
shows
but
before.
the last 3 or 4 that I've done have felt very choreography based. So this has been. It's nice to come back to this because it's what I'm more trained.
Well, your take on Sweeney was so stylized. It was
Yeah.
almost like a Greek
chorus
tragedy.
Yeah.
And obviously West Side is the American dance show.
Dance show,
I mean,
sure.
It's just, but this is interesting because it's really like 2 plays.
Yes.
There's 3 people that dominate one half of the play.
Right, which is-
And we're all in one room, essentially.
Almost the whole time. You rarely leave that room.
We
Right.
never leave that room. Her, Norma Desmond's
You.
great room, yeah. Me and Joe.
No,
And
you haven't said who you're playing yet.
I'm playing Max, her
Butler.
Butler.
We'll just leave it there.
Yes.
as
We'll
well.
leave it there because there's a
twist.
There's a twist there. For those of you who know the film, the cool thing about the way Billy Wilder constructed the film is Billy Wilder was an emigre. He had fled in the very early days of the Nazi regime. I guess he was over here as soon as Hitler was Reich Chancellor. So somewhere in 1932, Billy Wilder was over here, and he befriended a German, actually an Austrian director by the name of Erich von Stroheim, who had been a big silent movie director, and they became friends. And Wilder sort of learned his initial take on film from von Stroheim. Von Stroheim had directed Gloria Swanson in silent movies.
Right.
So then when Billy Wilder wrote this original script about an aging silent movie star, he cast Gloria Swanson and Erich von Stroheim to play her butler.
How incestuous.
It was, and von Stroheim had
Very
directed
clever,
Swanson
actually.
Yeah.
That's
in
really-
lots of films. Oh, actually, only three films. But it's a wonderful homage to the whole industry, silent era, and it's a comment on the talking era.
Sure. Well, and that change, how that affected everybody from that silent era to the talking era, and
Right.
what that did to her, obviously, to
Right.
Norma.
And
Same
the-
theme we had in Singing in the Rain.
Right, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
exactly.
It is
Exactly.
the
It is the
same.
same.
Isn't it interesting?
It's-
But that was the leitmotif.
Absolutely.
The
Yes, the
leitmotif.
funny-
That was a big joke.
That was
Right.
that was
Big
last year's
joke.
Up
Yeah,
in
what if?
Summers.
Yeah,
Yes.
what if?
What if
And,
they
you know,
left?
and the funny thing, Swanson actually made it. She transitioned to the
did.
sound era. She didn't have any trouble. She elected not to stay in film. She kind of left around 34 and she went to Broadway.
Politics too.
Well, she became, yes, later on in life, she became a real neocon. And she was in that whole America First group, along with John Wayne and others who were successful in blacklisting people like Dalton Trumbo and that whole crowd. She was in the forefront of that. But we don't talk about it.
But that's.
But she had a big Broadway
That's what it-
career in the
Yeah,
40s.
absolutely.
Big New York career. All right, so this opens on July 29, closes on August 21. This is 3 weeks, right, Diana?
4.
4 weeks.
Oh, it's 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot we were doing 4
Oh,
weeks.
Lou, I hope we see you in the
I hope,
Geez.
I hope
Well,
Mr.
you
Max
could've-
comes for the 4th weekend.
Well, I had plans
butler.
for my 4th week. I had totally forgotten. Anyway, July 29, August 21st, so 4 weeks. Friday and Saturday, always 8 p.m. Sunday matinee, always 3 p.m. Tickets are $27, $25. You can call our box office at 845-876-3080. You can call us Tuesday through Friday between the hours of noon and 5, Saturday 1 to 5. Always online, 24 hours a day. You wake up in the middle of the night. I have to see an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. What do I do? Well, you go online, www.centerforperformingarts.org. What's coming up for you after this?
I'm working with Diana again with Up in One Productions for our October show. We'll be doing Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, so another movie rehash, but
Right.
very fun, very totally different era and genre really.
Yeah.
Be a lot of fun.
Silly stuff.
Very silly.
Also,
Very
another
silly.
black and white film, and
Yeah.
and the play is a great homage to
Oh, very
all those Universal horror flicks of the 30s. He's really very. We're doing a lot of homage this year. What's up for you after this? Got anything
I
planned?
don't know. That's a good question.
Are you still working at Half Moon? Do you
I
work-
am. Yes, their season will begin in September, so I may be involved with play festival or plays, but I don't have anything booked. But actually, I did write 2 children's books. I guess I could say that.
You
No
feel
one
free.
knows about it yet, but
You wrote 2 children.
I wrote 2 children's.
Well, you wrote a
books.
children's musical,
I wrote 2
a couple of
children-
years back.
I did.
Princess of the Nile.
Princess of the Nile,
which we
Yep,
did here.
We did it here.
Yeah, what are your books about?
My books are about the ABCs of figure skating from Axel to Zamboni is one,
How
because my
cool
daughter
is
was a figure
that?
skater.
Axel the Zamboni.
And I actually got an app on my iPad to do draw, because I like to draw, but I did all the illustrations and I did the text, so it's an ABCs, and then
for
I
you.
did a workbook, a scrapbook journal to go with it where figure skaters can write up. I did my first Axel on blah, 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 I did my this, and so
Were you a figure
I-
skater?
No, but my daughter was, and I sat there in the stands for years watching my youngest Kelly skate. And first I thought every jump was the same. And then you learn, oh, wait a minute, there are 6 different jumps and a different approach. Anyway, a whole technique
That's so cool.
and a language. So it's just an interest of mine. It's been about 15 years in the making, and I finally had a.
That's
Who knew?
great.
I
Multi-talented
know.
you.
So
Just
great.
fun to do. So
Well,
now
let us know. We'll have a publishing party.
Oh, I'm going to self-publish.
Diana, what's up for you? You got a couple of things going.
Well, I'm doing Kids on Stage this summer.
And we have a show on August the 6th, right?
Right, Disney.
So you'll be able to, you folks out there, this will be in time for that. You're doing Alice in Wonderland.
I'm doing Disney's Alice in Wonderland.
Disney's Alice in Wonderland.
That'll
Great.
be fun.
Oh, that's so fun.
And then I'm directing and producing Born Yesterday.
Right, and that's in the
Uh,
fall?
Great comedy, great political
I
comedy
love
in the
that.
fall. And I'm producing Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, which
Right.
Kevin is directing.
Cool.
And then I'm going to be directing for the Center Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol for December.
When do you take a break?
She
She's
does.
not this year.
We don't let her
Not
take a
this
break.
You let her.
You've had a really busy
She's
year,
really
actually.
busy.
Well, January and February, well, you were in rehearsal in February
Yes.
for R&J.
Yes.
And
She
then
was
you were in
fabulous.
R&J.
Yes.
Yeah, you were great in that.
Thank you.
You really
Yes.
were. She was the nurse, for those of you who didn't see it. All right, Kevin, anything you want to add? Come and see Sunset Boulevard. Tell us why.
Yeah, that's what I'm adding. Come and see Sunset Boulevard.
Come and see Barbara.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know, we didn't say who else
Yeah,
is in
let's
this show.
please.
come on.
Jim Nuri, who
Jim
hasn't
Nuri,
been,
who's playing
hasn't-
Joe Gillis.
Yeah, hasn't been back since Spamalot, so it's great to have him back here. And Nikki Metcalf is playing Betty Schaefer, which is Joe Gillis's love interest. And
What?
I'm sorry.
You didn't know that?
You, of course, are playing Max, and George Allen is playing Cecil B. DeMille, and Monty Stone, who we saw last as Sweeney Todd, is playing Sheldrake. So a lot of great, and then a wonderful ensemble,
Great
full of
ensemble.
great singers,
They're
and
adorable.
Yeah.
really great
Great.
people.
Yeah. So come and see it. Sunset Boulevard, July 29, August 21st, Friday and Saturday, 8 p.m., Sunday, 3 p.m. Tickets, $27.25. You call us, 845-876-3080. Online, 24 hours a day, centerforperformingarts.org. And you can call the box office Tuesday through Friday, noon to 5, Saturday, 1 to 5. Eileen will love to sell you a ticket. And come and see the show. It's going to be great. And now we're going to hear a number from Sunset Boulevard. Barbara Rankin performing as Norma Desmond, and Elaine Miller, who is the musical director, will be accompanying.
I don't know why I'm frightened. I know my way around here. The cardboard trees, the painted seas, the sound here. Yes, a world to rediscover. But I'm not in any hurry. And I need a moment, a whispered conversation in overcrowded hallways. The atmosphere as thrilling here as always. Feel the early morning madness. Feel the magic in the making. Why everything's as if we never said goodbye. I've spent so many mornings just trying to resist you. I'm trembling now. You can't know how I've missed you. Missed the fairy tale adventures in this ever-spinning playground. We were young together. I'm coming out of makeup. The lights already burning. Not long until the cameras will start turning. And the early morning madness and the magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. I don't want to be alone. That's all in the past. This world's waited long enough. I've come home at last, and this time will be bigger and brighter than we knew it. So watch me fly. We all know I can do it. We'll have early morning madness. We'll have magic in the making. whispered conversations in overcrowded hallways. So much to say, not just today, but always. Now we'll have early morning madness. We'll have magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. We taught the world new ways to dream.
And we're back, and don't forget Sunset Boulevard playing at the Center for Performing Arts through most of the month of August. And also in August, the other big event, actually there are 3 big events now in August. On Friday, August the 26th, is our annual gala called A Magical Moonlight Affair, starring illusionist Ryan Dutcher. And also this particular fundraiser is to honor our founder, Andy Weintraub, who's in the shop right now building the set for Sunset Boulevard. And with me is our Director of Development, Isabel Teixeira. And Isabel is spearheading this event, and Kevin is also helping. Here's our brochure. But we've added a couple of things to this. So this fundraiser is on Friday the
night.
26th. On Saturday the 27th, our good friend, Broadway star, Donald Corrin is doing his one-man show.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, the 28th, is the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival here at 3 p.m. And they are doing, we're doing the Scottish play.
Right, the
Well, you can
Scottish-
say
Scottish one.
Macbeth, I don't care. We have no superstitions in this theater.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My God, no. No, they're going to be bringing
Turn
Macbeth
around,
here.
Step
3
one.
times,
Yeah,
curves.
right,
It was
spit,
like-
spit, run around the building. So it's going to be a big fundraising weekend. But Isabel, what are we looking for especially for a magical moonlight affair that Friday night? What's going
Well,
to be
we
happening?
have some wonderful sponsors already.
Who are the sponsors?
We have Riverstone Wealth Management,
Cool.
Darren and Dana Page, Bogish and Grady, Dowden Agency, Wells Fargo, Aldecotis and Liz Mazzarella, Sally and Mike Mazzarella, Summer Moon, Winter Sun, Hyde Park Theater Parents, Oblong Books, Spiegel Brown Fischera, and Terrapin, of course, doing.
Terrapin is going to be doing all of our catering.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking to become a sponsor, and we'd love to have you on board, you can call Isabel.
Absolutely.
And how do they get to you, Isabel? What's your direct line?
Well, you call the center.
876-3080, but what's your extension?
15.
15. So when you go through all of that, hi, our menu has changed.
Nope,
Have you
15.
noticed that nobody's menu ever changes, but they always say, please
Please
pay
listen
attention,
carefully.
Yes.
our menu has changed.
But our menu actually did change.
It did.
It did.
Yeah, it did. So,
Yeah.
all right, never
So-
mind what I just said. All right, so there's a silent auction,
There's a silent auction and a live
auction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the live auction theme this year is exotic getaways.
Correct.
So how many houses do we have in the Caribbean that we're giving
We
away?
have St. Croix.
St. Croix, we have
We
one
have
house.
Bahamas.
One in the Bahamas.
We have Puerto Rico.
1 or 2 in Puerto Rico.
I thought 1, maybe 2.
Okay.
And then we have Manzanella, Mexico, which I think is the.
Manzanilla in
Manzanilla,
Mexico. 4.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's a New York City.
A New York City getaway. Yeah.
And
And then a Rhinebeck.
a
a
we have a
Rhinebeck getaway.
Rhinebeck. We also have another New York City.
So there's
Okay.
7 houses.
Yes.
7 houses, and they're for how long? A week?
Various.
Various times, yeah.
Some of
Okay,
them are a
the
week.
St.
some of them are
Croix
few
is a
days.
week,
Yes,
right?
I believe the homes are all a week.
The homes are all for a week.
The New
Yeah.
York City stuff is a few days.
A few days, couple of weekends.
Yeah.
One of them belongs to Andrew Kiefer, is that correct? Or-
Yes.
Yes.
And the other one is
Marlene.
Marlene and Bernie?
Correct.
and the one up here belongs to
Liz
Liz
Mazzarella.
Mazzarella.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We're
So
so
lots of
grateful.
people, yeah, lots of people are been very, very good to us. So there are
Yeah.
7 big live auction items. Silent auction items. What kind of things do we have?
We
this year?
have gift certificates.
Gift certificates.
We're working on some dinner
The
packages.
Rhinebeck dining experience,
Yes, a
right?
variety of
Like
them.
8 of those.
We have some
Right.
memberships to places like the
Cool.
Children's Museum, the Aerodrome,
The Aerodrome.
Storm King,
Yeah.
Mohonk.
Mohonk Preserve.
Yeah.
Yep. We've got dinner at Mohonk Mountain House,
Cool.
which is great. I just got a new one today from Crown Maple. So we have like a VIP.
Crown Maple, they were at the
Yes.
tourism. They got
have
an
the
award
big,
with us.
They won the award, yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, they
This
won. Yeah, right.
Huge tasting area, so it's a VIP tasting experience plus like 3 bottles of their maple syrup,
Oh, cool.
which
That's
is
great.
really good.
That's good.
There's a girls' night out at Neiman Marcus for
Okay.
with cosmetics. There's, it's you and like 9 friends with cocktails and somebody to show off whichever cosmetics.
Really? Is that
Yes,
what it is?
That's exactly what it is.
Wow, this is like
It's
a
like for
Tupperware
9
party,
o'clock.
but
yes.
at Neiman
and
Marcus.
you can pick whichever brand of cosmetics you want them to showcase. They'll do makeovers.
Will they
whole thing.
tell me, Mike, am I a palette? Am I a winter or a spring?
Pick the right one. I bet they'll tell you. About.
Are you going? Are you going to bid on
He's
this?
gonna bid on that one.
No, I'm going for the houses.
How's it? Well, you went last year.
I did. I went
Yeah.
to St. Croix, and
St.
it was
Croix.
amazing with Babette, actually, and
Yeah.
we had a great time. It was
Yeah.
a beautiful home, so
Yeah.
definitely worth it.
That was Ellen's?
And yeah, that was Ellen's brother's.
Ellen's
yeah.
brother's house.
Yeah.
Cool. So these are really great houses,
They
ladies
are.
and gentlemen.
Yeah.
A lot of
It's really
fun.
great auction.
Yeah, really great auction items. And Ryan Dutcher, who's a world-class illusionist, plays all over the country.
So much fun to watch.
Oh, his
So
stuff
talented,
is just
yeah.
like amazing. Really world-class. So that's a 2-act show.
Mm-hmm.
The show is at 8, the cocktail party's at 7,
Yep.
auction's probably around 10, and you'll be out of here by 10:30. We
Latest.
hope,
Yeah.
Yep.
at the very latest. But we do need your support. You know, we say this over and over and over again. Everybody says, well, you charge for tickets. You sell tickets. You have workshop tuitions. Why aren't you just rolling in dough? Because this is theater, ladies and gentlemen. And it costs way more than you could possibly earn. The only people who are making money in the theater right now are the newcomers. And the newcomers are those folks that I call the capitalists in the theater. We've only had commercial theater on the scale that we know it for about 150 years, 200 years, certainly not any longer than that. Shakespeare did sell tickets to go to the Globe, but it was to cover expenses. An $875 seat to see Hamilton is beyond covering expenses. We're into heavy profit land
Yeah.
for somebody. But it is expensive to do theater. I mean, we
The rights,
lose,
the orchestras.
with everything we do, with all the fundraising and everything that happens, I mean, our budget is bouncing up toward $1 million a year, and we can earn 60% of that. All right, which is pretty high. So we can earn $600,000 a year. Institutionally, we have about another $300,000 in gifts every year. But it's that crucial 10%. We're always missing $100,000. We have missed 10% of our budget every year since I've been running it, and that's almost 20 years. 10% every year. It's just not there. So it's up to you and the fundraiser. So please come. We need your help. Any parting shots?
Tickets available online.
Online, or
Or
you
by
can
phone.
call. How much are the tickets?
Tickets are $100.
$100. And what does it give you?
It gives you cocktails, open bar.
Open
you
bar all night, you don't pay
your
for anything.
hors d'oeuvres, your show,
Food, drink, the show.
and yeah, absolutely.
And a great chance to bid on
On
awesome
wonderful
items.
stuff.
Awesome items, really good stuff. Excellent stuff. And I'm sure we're going to have some cases of rare wines.
Yeah.
That'll be
Sure.
coming in as well.
Some
We're
great
looking
jewelry,
For a lot of, yep, we
jewelry.
were looking for
Art,
some other
some
stuff out
Art,
there.
yeah. So if you want to make a donation for our fundraiser, please call us.
Absolutely.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that's August 26th, 7 p.m., cocktails, 8 p.m., show, 10 p.m., auction. You'll be gone by 10:30. It's a pretty light evening in terms of the wear and tear on you, and it will help us. All right, so we'll go away for another second and then come back. And we're back. And don't forget our fundraiser weekend on August 26, 27, 28. Magic in the Moonlight on Friday night, honoring our founder, Andy Weintraub, with illusionist Ryan Dutcher. The next Saturday, the 27th, will be Donald Corn, and on Sunday, the 28th, the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival. Sitting to my right, the last time you were on the show, I shook his hand, and I said, this is David Ives, and I shook his hand, and I said, it's a pleasure to shake the hand of the man who shook the hand of the Dalai Lama. So now it's a pleasure to shake the hand of a man who has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, which is pretty extraordinary.
It certainly is. I can't believe.
Did they call you up?
No.
You got it in the mail?
I had some. I know the people who nominated me. They're other Nobel Peace Prize laureates.
Yeah.
And they told me.
Which one told you?
I can't say.
You can't tell me?
Yeah.
It wasn't Mikhail Gorbachev?
No.
Was it
no.
the Dalai Lama?
Wasn't the Dalai Lama? No.
But I mean, that's incredible. So like when somebody said to you, you've just been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, what, did you like faint?
I fell over in a.
I bet you did. I would have. When did they announce who won?
October 6th, and they're very closed-mouthed about it.
They don't say anything to anybody.
Well, I know President Carter fairly well, and what they did with him was they called him about 4 in the morning to tell him that the next call he was going to get was not a crank call.
Was not a crank call.
Because some people say, oh, you're joking, and hang up. So they called President Carter, and he said he took the call, a half hour later, and got the Nobel Peace Prize.
That's just incredible.
So if I get the call.
How do you feel about it? Do you think who else is in the running? I mean, this is like the Oscars, right? There's like that actor, this actor, that actor.
Well, I heard Donald Trump got nominated.
Are you kidding me? You're kidding me.
Yeah, a little bit.
I hope so. My goodness. But you don't know who anybody else is?
No, I don't.
No. They don't let that
They're
out.
very closed-mouthed.
No, and they do it like, on the up and up. It's very pure. It's
Yeah.
it's not a competition.
There are 5 Norwegian legislators that make the decision.
Right.
And they'll do it without telling anybody. And if they come out on October 6th and say, David Ives got the Nobel Peace Prize, I won. If they don't say my name, I lost.
That's right. So they're honoring you for all your work with the Albert Schweitzer Institute,
Yes.
and also your work with the Nobel laureates.
Yes.
You want to talk about that? Because the last time you were on the show, you talked about the Nobel Laureate Conference, which was in Poland last
Yeah,
year.
2 years ago, that was in Warsaw.
Right.
And I'm on the Gorbachev Foundation honorary board.
Right.
And so I'm in charge of organizing summits of Nobel Peace Prize laureates every year. That year was in Poland. The next year it was in South Africa, and last year it was in Barcelona.
And where's it going to be this year?
And this next year is going to be in Bogota, Colombia, and what we're trying to do is help to end a 30-year or 50-year civil war. They've just signed a peace treaty, laying down the military arms. They have to decide what they're going to do with the young people, because the average age of the FARC guerrillas was 12.
Right.
What do you do with kids that have been in that kind of conflict? So we're going there, along with President Carter, the Dalai Lama, and not just to give them a nudge and support for their treaty, because a lot of people in Colombia want revenge because they lost so many of their relatives.
Right.
And it's going to be the same thing as what has happened in South Africa. They had to have a Truth and Reconciliation Committee because there's just not enough time and money to prosecute everybody that may need to be prosecuted. So they're going to have to do something similar. And we're trying to help them.
So how long have you been doing this now?
I've been doing this for about 14 years. And I worked here in Rhinebeck with the Camp Rising Sun.
Right.
And that brought bright teenagers together for 8 weeks of leadership training, and especially from countries with histories of conflict. And I also have worked with the Rotary Foundation, traveling around the world setting up conferences on peace issues. And we did some peace work in Costa Rica with our President Arias, who was the Nobel Peace Prize laureate there. And we also did some work in Australia with Rotarians there, working with how Aboriginal peoples were treated. And way before apartheid ended in South Africa, I was able to get the president of Cote d'Ivoire to have a conference there on peace in South Africa. That was the only place at the time that had allowed South African Rotarians to come to an African country. So we were able to do some behind-the-scenes work. So it's a combination of organizing conferences, and it was a combination of trying to help people that are disabled and do some things with global health.
And on the side, you teach.
Yeah, just on the side. I teach courses on Latin American history, and I teach courses on philosophy of Albert Schweitzer and his thinking. And I teach a course on the theology of Schweitzer's positions. So it keeps me busy.
Yeah. And what led you to all this, David? I mean, that's like, you know, you have so many accomplishments, but they're all in a very specific direction. You know, the idea of global peace. And what led you there? Did you have like a conversion at Damascus? Did a blinding light? I mean, what happened?
2 years when I was 17, my mother decided to take some inheritance from her parents' estate. And instead of going to Europe, where many other people go, we went to South America to visit missions. And so
Yeah, we chatted very briefly about this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went to I was a naive kid, and I went out to visit some of the parishioners' homes, which were made out of corn stalks. And as a 17-year-old boy, looking inside a person's house, and the only furniture they had was a wet mattress. And when I came out, their only garden was 6 onions, and from me to the chairs over there was the source of drinking water, and also the septic system for similar houses for all to see. And I couldn't. These houses were made in the same way, and everywhere I looked, and everybody was sick. The person that we visited earned $300 a year, taking 55-gallon drums on his back and loading them into ships, and he was a human mule, and that has stuck with me.
And where were you when you were living in the States with your family? Middle class?
Middle class, and this was in Brazil.
And you had, like, you know, the typical middle class thing in the
Right.
50s, 2 bathrooms. You have
Two
two
bathrooms,
bathrooms,
yeah.
2 cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you go and you see this.
Yes, and then the other thing that happened, I was in the United States Peace Corps. I talked about this with you a little bit briefly. I'll just mention it. I had a little girl die in my arms from drinking bad water, and she got her lungs got filled up with worms. And the reason I ran into her was because as a Peace Corps volunteer, I was measuring the height and weight of babies. And when I first got there, the Costa Rican cologne was 8 colones to the dollar, and in 6 months it was 90 colones to the dollar. So there was too much month left at the end of most people's salary. So they didn't have enough money to even get medicine. So when I saw this isolated family with a similar situation to what I saw in Brazil, I saw the girl having trouble breathing. She was going, and just couldn't get a breath. So I said, and the only way in and out of my sight was by boat in the morning. So I said I'd take him to the doctor. They were late coming down to arrive at the boat, and the boat captain just said that he was going to leave, and I made it clear to him that despite my peaceful nature, he would be in the water if he left before this kid came down. Finally, they came, yelling, "Ella no puede respirar, ella no puede respirar." And so we shoved off. I put the baby in my arms. I tried to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and I felt the soul leave the body about halfway to the doctor's office. And in that situation, I cried, because that happens about 28,000 times a day. Kids under the age of 5 die worldwide. And so those are my motivating factors.
Well, good for you. Good for you. So, October 6th is when we're here?
And that's when you hear big party in Oslo if this happens.
You're going to be there, obviously.
Yeah, and I'm taking as many friends as I can.
And we'll have a party here, and when you come back, we'll have you on stage again, and we'll have a party on our stage. A pleasure. Congratulations to you, David Ives, and this is a Rhinebeck man. So, in addition to Ferncliff Forest and the Aerodrome and Terrapin, we have David Ives.
Thank you.
And that's our show for this month. Don't forget our fundraiser, fundraising weekend on the 26th, 27th, 28th of August, and running through the whole month of August, Sunset Boulevard. We'll see you next month. Bye.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.
Everything about it is appealing. Everything the traffic will allow. No way could you get that happy feeling when you are still